Welcome to Conversations with Epiphany. Let's talk, the show where we dive deep into the essence of what makes our guests uniquely themselves. Join as we uncover the stories, experiences, and moments that shape their lives. From the triumphs to the trials, we're here to explore it all. Let's get talking and discover the heart of every story.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Epiphany. Today, I am joined by former NBA forward Shelton Jones. Not only played in the NBA, but overseas as well. Shelton, thank you for joining me today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yes, no problem. So before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about your journey in the NBA as well as overseas?
Well, I had a tough NBA journey, from the beginning. I was drafted by San Antonio Spurs in 1988. I think the rookie was myself, Vernon Maxwell, and Willie Anderson. We were
Mhm.
the three rookies that got drafted onto the Spurs, and we was looking to. I guess they were looking to build a team around us, and like that, but didn't work out that way for me.
Right.
Something happened where a couple of our big guys got hurt, so there
Mhm.
was needed to make some trades, and
Right.
so the only players that they wanted myself and maybe Vernon and this and that, and I had the least amount of years on my contract, so it was the
Mhm.
easiest to get me to trade me. It was the easiest because I had the least amount of years on it. So once that happened, I got traded to the Golden State Warriors, I believe it was.
Right. Okay.
And that experience was a whole nother experience in itself. Like when I first got there, the
Mhm.
coach was Don Nelson. I don't know if you're familiar. He's a little older. But he shook my hand, and he didn't even shake it like a firm handshake. It was like this loose, silly putty handshake that he said, "I don't believe in you. I don't think you can play in the NBA. We just needed to get rid of this bum."
Mhm.
He called one of his guys a bum. Like I just said, if he's calling him a bum and he knows him, he really doesn't care about me.
Mhm.
So I had a tough time there as well. And they wind up cutting me.
Mhm.
And I went to play in the CBA, like the lower professional leagues to try to get back up. And
Right.
I played 3 games out in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Mhm.
And I averaged like 30 points and 20 rebounds for 3 games. And the 76ers called me back up to the NBA.
Mhm.
When I got to the 76ers, things started working out a little better. I became a starter, like a member of the starting five. And I also represented the 76ers in the NBA Slam Dunk Contest that year as well. So
Right.
it was a lot going on, that first year and everything. But, it was tough, but I learned a lot. I also
Right.
had a lot of fun.
Right. I know I can imagine slam dunk contest. I know that had to probably be, because that now that is like what people like tune in for the most. So
Absolutely. It was
yeah.
so much fun.
Yes. And can you talk about a little bit of your overseas experience?
Oh yeah, like after I finished playing a year and a half in the NBA or whatever, I went over to Europe, and the
Mhm.
first place I went was a place called Levallois, and that's in France, in Paris.
Mhm.
So I went over there and getting acclimated to another country and culture and all these other things. So it was eye-opening experience for me, but I had a lot of fun there too, and
Right.
I even learned to speak a little French.
Okay,
Man,
yes.
a little bit
Right.
when I was there, but I had a great time. They spoke a lot of English over there. There was a lot of English speaking people,
Right.
so that made it easier for me. But yeah, I had a great time in Paris.
Right. And do you think the experience that you had in the NBA prepared you for overseas basketball, or was that like totally different? Or what did one teach you over the other?
Well, the thing with the competition was a lot better in the NBA, a lot tougher. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? So it definitely prepared me for Europe. I felt really confident when I was over there. I didn't not to the point where I wasn't a humble guy where I thought I was better than everybody or anything like that. But I just felt comfortable, like playing over there. I felt like I was one of the best. So I
Right.
was confident. As long as I was confident in myself, I played well.
Right. Wow. And we're gonna talk about Victor Wembanyama, in this segment. He's absolutely making his mark in the game right now. And like you said, he played overseas. He played overseas and in the NBA and all that thing. So when you see, do you are you like are you familiar with the game that he's playing, like that he's playing like currently, or that he I guess the developmental process of him playing overseas and how it transferred over right now to the NBA? What's
Absolutely. You
Yeah.
could see. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Finish.
No,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Finish.
Yes, I was about to say what stands out to you the most in his game playing?
His skills, like
Right.
you can tell that he's from Europe. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you can tell because in Europe, they teach fundamentals.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? See, we, like in America, we used to teach fundamentals as well
Mm-hmm.
until the AAU started. Now, when
Mm-hmm.
that AAU circuit started, they stopped teaching kids. They stopped training kids, stopped teaching them. You had to already be ready or you weren't going to play.
Right.
Like that's the bottom line. But in Europe,
Mm-hmm.
and this is why they've gotten so close to us now that we might even have a tough time winning the Olympics, the next Olympic Games. I'm not so sure we're going to win. But
Mm-hmm.
we don't teach fundamentals like they do over in Europe. This guy, Victor Wembanyama, has been doing fundamental like drills,
Right.
dribbling drills, shooting drills, passing drills, all these since he was a little kid. He's
Right.
been doing them. And now when you watch him at 7'5" and he's dribbling and he's doing all these fundamental things, you know that he had to work on those things. They worked with him since he was a little kid. Luca, everybody from Europe, their skills are a lot better than the kids here because we don't work on fundamentals anymore. We just go out and play. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? The AAU circuit has made it to where it's a competition level who's the best player at the time. But nobody really gets better during AAU.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's why the European players like Wemby are catching up because
Right.
they're still working on their skills. The Joker,
Right.
Djokovic from Denver, he can pass the ball. He's a 7 footer. He can pass the ball. He can dribble. He can shoot. So it's
Right.
amazing, and that's why they're catching up to us because they're all practicing fundamentals over there all the time.
Right, and that's true. And I know you mentioned height. I think like you're 6'10", right?
I'm 6'9".
6'9". Oh, okay, 6'9". So when it comes to like, speed and size and physicality and all those things, what do you think is the biggest adjustment for overseas stars coming into the NBA?
The physicality of the game. Like
Hmm.
I think that most of the best European players that come over here are already ready to play, but the thing that they have to get used to over here is the physicality, and the physicality these days in American basketball is not like it used to be when I played.
Right,
Like it's definitely softer game. The referee calls more fouls, like and stuff like that.
right.
But I think that's really the only adjustment that the European players have to make is they have to become a little more physical.
Right. And when the Spurs drafted him, like they were in this rebuilding phase, and they, clearly he is the star of, the Spurs and everything. So what
Yeah.
do you think the Spurs need around him more if they will eventually win an NBA championship?
I think, the team that they have now is
Mm-hmm.
good enough. You have a player, man, he's from Sacramento and he went to Kentucky. I can't think of his name right now, but he's hurt. So,
Right.
and he's not playing right now. So,
Mhm.
their team is even better than what they have right now, and they're playing pretty good right now. But I say that he probably needs like another good veteran player or
Mhm.
something like that, somebody that can help keep the team together because that he's a unicorn. Like he can almost do it by himself. You
Right.
know what I'm trying to say? He doesn't really need a lot of pieces around him. You know
Right.
what I mean? Because he does so much and he takes up so much space. But
Right.
really, they just need like a really good veteran presence. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And good shooters. Like if they have good shooters, guys who can, cause they're going to double, triple team him. So
Right.
somebody's always going to be open when he has the ball. So just get him some good shooters around him, some good defensive players and veteran presence, and they'll probably be a dynasty in no time. Like I could see them winning 2, 3 championships in a row.
Right. And speaking of a veteran presence, like do you have like a name in mind? Who do you think would really elevate his game even more when beyond his game?
LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
He'd
Yeah.
be the perfect one. If LeBron, I know LeBron has maybe this is his last year in his contract, I believe. And
Hmm.
so next year he can be a free agent, he can leave or he can do whatever. I think that'll be a great pickup for Wembanyama. I doubt if it's going to happen, but
Right.
a guy like that, like somebody like that, would help him tremendously.
Right. And I know you got drafted late in the 1980s. So it's a big difference, like, between like when you got drafted, playing like, with the Charles Barkley's, Michael Jordans, everything like that. And so it was, physical, fast-paced era. What is the biggest difference you see in today's NBA game when it
Just
comes?
the
Yeah.
speed and the quickness. Like the guy, they're running all day. They make a basket, they're gone, they're gone, they're
Right.
gone. And the guys nowadays are way more athletic than we were. Not that we didn't have great athletes,
Right.
but we weren't doing the kind of things that they're doing with their bodies. Like it's incredible. These guys jump so high. These guys are so big, and that, like you didn't never see like when I was coming up,
Right.
and a guy like me get the rebound and dribble it all the way down to the other court and maybe dunk or pass or do something. That was unbelievable. That was like magic. Now it's just commonplace.
Right.
You know what I mean? I
Right.
could see. I was looking at Victor Wembanyama,
Mhm.
his last game, and I just and then I was thinking about there's like two or three more guys his size that are
Right.
coming into the NBA, and they all can shoot, they
Mhm.
all can dribble, they all can run. So I was looking at that, and I said, man, and I was looking at the future of NBA basketball,
Right.
and I see guys my size, 6'8", 6'9", being the point guard now.
Right. Okay.
Like
Okay.
you're gonna have to be 6'8" pretty
Right.
soon to be
Right.
in the NBA. That's gonna be small. You know, I'm
Right.
gonna be a little guy soon.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because they're
that's
gonna have so many 7'5" guys. They're gonna have so many 6'11" guys, 7-footers that can shoot, dribble. The whole game is changing. Like
right.
pretty soon, the little guys are gonna have to be off the chart if they even want to be on the team.
Right.
Anybody under 6'8", that's what I see. You know?
Right. Yeah, that's true. Like, now, like Steph Curry, I believe he's like 6'2".
Right.
Like, LeBron James, I believe he's like 6'8", 6'9", and things
Yep.
like that. So, like I said, when
Yep.
Giannis, 7-footers, and everything like that.
7'5". Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, wow. And like you said, he could do everything. So,
Absolutely.
um, okay, so if you were coming into the league right now today, what part of your game would you like to emphasize the most?
Probably my running game, like how I played back in the day. I would play the same way because it would translate now. It would
Mhm.
probably be better off for me now because the game is not as physical; it's more running, and
Right.
that's what my game was. Because I'm even though I was tall, I wasn't really a big guy,
Mhm.
So I had to use my speed
Right.
against big guys. My speed is what. So, and in today's game, it would fit in perfectly. Like
Right.
I think have a better career now than I did back then because of my speed.
Right. And so we're gonna play a game of hot topics, right? So,
Okay.
today's stars like Wemby,
hmm
Tatum, the Joker. Um, who do those guys remind you of back in the day? Like whether it was somebody you played with or played against, or what would you put them up? Who would you put them up against?
I they're unicorns as far as I'm concerned. I haven't seen anyone like them. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? I haven't seen it because they're not typical centers. Like they're not typical big guys. They do everything.
Right.
So there was nobody really doing that like
Right.
back in those days. Like the closest one I could say is Ralph Sampson. You
Okay.
know, he could do it. He could dribble. He could run. He could do all those things. But the NBA wasn't ready for all that. They
Right.
wanted him. No, 7'4", get in the post. Go down low where you got an advantage. Like they didn't want to see the big guy, but he could have done it. He was the first.
Right.
He was just like Wembyama.
Right.
It's almost a carbon copy,
Right.
But I think Ralph might have been a little more strong, more tougher than Wemby, But
Right.
other than that, it was similar. They were
Right.
very similar. Ralph could dribble, could shoot, play
Mhm.
defense, block shots. He ran. He was
Right.
fast. All
Right.
those things. So I think, yeah, he's a throwback. It would
Right.
be Ralph Sampson. Anybody who could come in this league and come in the league now, and it will translate.
Right.
Ralph Sampson. Yeah.
And it kind of seems like, like what you were like Ralph Sampson, like it was more like if you were that tall, that big back in the day, like very defense, they wanted you to be very defensive minded,
Right.
instead,
Right. And they want to bury you in the lane. They don't
right,
want you to come outside and pass the free throw line, stuff like that. And if
right,
you got a rebound and dribble it, they would get the ball up, give it up. They don't even want you to do it. You know what I
right,
mean? So it's
right.
amazing how much the game has changed.
That's so true. Yeah, now like you see, like probably like now like you're 6'9", like you would probably
Right.
be the player, like you could like bring the
Yeah.
ball up the court. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
without your
Yeah.
coach looking at you like, what are you doing? Um,
Absolutely.
right. Um, which teams today do you feel are building the right way in the NBA? And because the season is still just relatively starting, but it feels like
Mhm.
anybody could win the championship. You know what I mean? The Spurs started off hot. OKC started off hot. The reigning champs, like it's the Knicks starting off hot. And so which teams do you think could like actually win an NBA championship and who have set a foundation to get to that next level?
Well, there's quite a few teams,
Mhm.
up and coming teams. We look at a team like Oklahoma City,
Right.
and they basically have their same team back, and I think they added a few pieces, so they're going to be trouble. Like
Right.
they're the pre-champs, so you're going to have to beat them. I think Oklahoma City's number one. Then a team like Denver,
Mhm.
who's always right there. Like they're tough. They got better. I believe they got better. They got a backup center that's a
Right.
starting center
Right.
anywhere else. So, and then they got they got the player. They got Brown back. I remember Brown helped them in their first championship, and they brought him back. So this pretty good team now, Denver. But
Right.
who I like is I like Houston
Mhm.
because their coach, they have a tough coach, Udo. I think
Right.
that's how you say his name.
Mhm.
They have a great coach, and they're tough. He's a
Right.
tough coach, and they're a tough team, and they have a lot of good young talent. And adding Kevin Durant is going to help them tremendously.
Right.
So I think like Houston, Oklahoma City,
Right.
Denver, teams like that. The Spurs, like
Right.
they always had a great organization.
Right.
Uh, and maybe like Giannis. I'm thinking
Mhm.
Giannis and them might be able to do a little something. They're struggling a little bit right now. But
Right.
but like you said, it's the beginning of the season and teams
Mhm.
are working on different things. So I
Right.
think towards the end of the year they'll be a lot better.
Right.
But the one thing I love about this season is you can't tell. Like you don't know who's gonna win. Like that's what
Right.
I love about it. It's
Right.
gonna be a very competitive championship series this year.
Right. It is. And I can, like you said, it's still like it's very early, but OKC, I feel like they have a good chance of repeating,
Yeah,
again, if
yeah.
they all stay healthy. So,
Yeah, they're the
um,
best team right now, but that's the key. You have to
right.
stay healthy. Like
Yes.
that's the key for any team. Like that's a part of it. Like people don't take that into consideration.
That's so
There's part that people could get hurt or somebody can get hurt. So when it does happen, it's like it tears you apart because you
right.
couldn't prepare for it. You couldn't see
Right.
it.
That's so
So,
true.
but
Yeah.
yeah, if they can
Like
stay healthy though, those are the top teams in the league.
right, like Boston, like last year, like they were on, they were in the playoffs, got injured,
Injuries and they
again.
stunk to the body. Yep. Injuries can do that.
They
That's
can.
the one thing about injuries, and you don't know. You can't
Right.
plan for it.
That's true. That is true. In this NBA, like right now, like load management, right? They
Mhm.
talk about a lot of
Absolutely, yeah.
yeah, load
Yeah.
man. So back in like your day, was that like a big topic?
Unheard of. Do
Yeah.
you see my finger?
Oh wow.
Do you see it?
Wow.
It's like that because I hurt my jam my finger or do whatever I do to it. I run over to the side, they put a little tape around
Right.
it and push me back in. Not even they don't give me an X-ray.
Yeah.
It was just raw. What do they call it
Wow.
back then? Barnyard battles or whatever they called it.
Mm.
But you see that, right? You see that
Okay.
there. Never healed.
Wow.
That's how we were. Like it
Wow.
was like you get an injury, you keep playing.
Right.
You play.
Wow. Wow. That's something. Yeah, and like you said, now it's a big thing so much so that, it's talked about like continuously like load management like and
Right,
like they always said like if you're not hurt, you can play. And
right.
so that injury like wow, that's crazy from,
Yeah.
from playing that that's something. Yeah.
There's a big difference between being hurt and being injured. You see what I'm
Mm,
saying? If you're hurt, you can play.
right.
But if you're injured, now you can't
Mm,
do. There's nothing you can do.
yeah. It's good. That's a good way to
But
look at
nowadays, if you're hurt, you're not playing.
it. Right.
It started with Shaq when Shaq had the an ingrown toenail or something and he didn't play. Like what? He's 7 foot 300 pounds and he has an ingrown toenail and he's not playing.
Right.
You can like wrap tape around that and you won't even know. Oh
Right.
my God, that's when it started. It became
Mm,
ridiculous. I don't mind load management. Don't get me wrong.
right.
But the part that I don't like about the load management is when um, you got kids and people that travel so far to see these guys and they sitting out like load management. There's nothing wrong with them. Now, these people have spent thousands of dollars,
Right.
travel from who knows where, and
Right.
the guy they came to see is not going to play tonight because of
Right.
load management or whatever. And then they don't even tell you until the game starts. You know what I'm trying to
Right.
say? So it's like,
Right.
oh my God, that's the only thing that I hate about load management. I'm
Right.
all for taking care of your body, getting rest.
Right.
I'm for that.
Yes.
But you can't do that to the fans. Like
Right.
they come to see you, you got to play.
That's true. That is true. And we're gonna have another segment to talk about. I know the Big East, you played for the Big East, in college and everything like that.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to young players trying to break into the NBA right now? Whether they're in the Big East or, wherever.
Work on your game.
Hmm.
Work on your game. I saw a video of, I remember watching videos of Cayenne Anthony,
Hmm.
Carmelo's son, and,
Right.
and they were training. And the
Hmm.
stuff that he was teaching him, like that's what they do in Europe, what he
Hmm.
was teaching his son.
Right.
And now to watch him now, it all translates. Like
Right.
he's so good. Like
Right.
and it seems like little effort. He looks
Hmm.
like he's not even trying, but he's so by memory. He's just doing everything by memory. And it's so awesome. That's what I would do. That's what I would suggest.
Right.
To work on their game like that on the game moves, on
Hmm.
stuff you're gonna do in the game, like
Right.
pivoting and
Hmm.
stuff, different stuff like that. That's what's gonna help.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Work on your weakest point so they can become one of your
Right.
strongest points, and things like that. So
Right.
is there
Stay
anything?
in the gym. Stay
Right.
in the gym and
Right.
work on your shot. See, that was my problem.
Mhm.
I didn't work on my shot. Like it wasn't that I couldn't shoot, but I
Right.
didn't work on it to where
Hmm.
it was automatic, where I felt so comfortable that I could shoot it from anywhere. I was
Right.
always dependent on my speed and jumping ability. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? Where if I had a chance to do it all over again, I would have been in the gym shooting game shots all over the gym. That's what I would have been doing. So
Right.
that's what I suggest to do is work on your game, your ball handling, and your shooting as much as possible. Everything else will take care of itself.
Right. And I know they say this all the time, you can't teach size. And I know, like you said,
Right,
you had a
right.
massive growth spurt from high school to college to, and everything else. So were you kind of like one of the tallest people on your teams, or like were there a lot of 7 footers while you were playing in the NBA or overseas?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was I was a little guy.
Oh,
Like
look.
I said, at 6'8", 6'9" is average
Right.
when you're mixing it with basketball teams. That's average.
Right.
Very rare in the NBA that I'm the tallest guy. Now I never was.
Hmm.
Like in the CBA, the lower league, I could maybe be the tallest,
Hmm.
but in the NBA and the professional level, it's kind of hard because there's a lot of tall guys, a lot of big guys, a
Right.
lot of them. So
Yeah. So is there anything you learned overseas that you think every American-born player needs to know?
just again, the fundamentals.
Mm,
And I got to reiterate it because that's the biggest part of it. Like
right,
you have to be fundamentally sound. Like they don't let you travel like they do here. When they call walk over
right,
here,
mm,
they're not calling walk over here. They're calling it over there. You see what I'm
right,
saying? Like, you have to learn how to actually pivot and
mm,
you have to play the correct way. That's the
right,
thing that I learned the most in Europe is was how to play the correct way.
right. Yeah, that's very important. That's true. Like you said, travel ball, travel, that's true.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, what are you most excited about the next generation of basketball? And do you have any favorite team or a favorite team right now?
Well, what I'm excited about, like I said, is to see those big guys.
Right,
Like see the big guys come. I want to see the league turn into that.
right,
Because, like you said, I had a big growth spurt, like from ninth grade to 10th grade, I grew 6 inches. And then I went to college and grew two more.
right.
So it was like that's gonna happen. You have to
Mhm.
take that into consideration while you're working. And then you
Right.
get to see that translate as well. Like you said, you can't teach size, you
Mhm.
know. But what did you ask me before other than that?
What is your favorite team right now?
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I don't have a favorite team, but I have a favorite player, and that's LeBron. So
Okay.
for the last 5 years, I've been a LeBron fan. Longer than that, but for the last 5 years, wherever he goes, that's my team. You
Right,
know what I'm saying?
right.
So I don't really have a favorite team. Right now, I'm with the Lakers,
With the
because
Lakers.
that's where LeBron is.
Yeah.
So, but I'm a Laker. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you, Shelton, for joining me. And I will have you on next time. We're going to talk about all things Big East because I know that is, your side, your family. And
Exactly.
I thank you. I thank you all
I
for
look
watching.
forward to it.
Yes, I thank you all for watching, and I hope you guys come back next time. Until then, have a great day. Bye-bye.